It was billed as one of the most anticipated interviews of the year. Prince Harry, sitting down for a no-holds-barred conversation with the famously combative Piers Morgan. From the moment the segment was announced, speculation ran wild. Piers press Harry on royal family tensions? Would Harry confront Piers for years of harsh criticism? The studio was packed, cameras ready, as Prince Harry entered with a poised demeanor, dressed in a navy suit, giving only a slight nod toward Piers. The greeting was civil, but the air was thick with unresolved tension. The opening minutes started, with rehearsed civility, touching on Harry's new projects, his family, and mental health advocacy. However, the tone shifted quickly when Piers brought up Harry's decision to step down from royal duties and his explosive interviews over the past few years. He questioned whether Harry was being hypocritical, seeking privacy while frequently being in the public eye. Harry attempted to respond calmly, stating that stepping away from the royal fold was about protecting his family, not avoiding responsibility. Piers, however, was relentless. He accused Harry of painting the royal family as villains for personal gain, citing specific excerpts from the infamous Oprah interview in his memoir. "Don't you think it's a bit rich," Piers said, leaning forward, "to preach compassion and unity while publicly dragging your own family?" Harry's expression stiffened. "I've always spoken from my experience," he replied, sharing, "My truth isn't betrayal, it's transparency." But Piers wouldn't relent. "Your truth?" he scoffed. Isn't truth supposed to be objective?" The exchange grew tense. Harry, now visibly irritated, countered by accusing Piers of profiting from royal drama and fanning media hysteria for views. "You've made a career of tearing people down," he said, "including my wife." The audience shifted uncomfortably. As the temperature rose, Piers fired back that public figures, especially royals, should be held accountable and shouldn't expect special treatment. "You can't demand freedom from scrutiny while sitting here trying to control the narrative," he snapped. Harry clenched his jaw, clearly working to maintain composure. The breaking point came when Piers brought up Meghan Markle directly, accusing her of manipulating public opinion and calling her a master of victimhood. Harry's demeanor changed. Instantly, he straightened up, eyes cold, and his voice dropped to a firm tone. "You don't get to speak about my wife like that," he said sharply. Piers, unfazed, pressed further. "She's not beyond criticism, Prince Harry. Or are you suggesting she's untouchable?" Harry leaned forward. "Criticism is one thing. What you've done is harassment. What the media has done is relentless bullying," he shot back. "And you've led that charge." The tension was now unbearable. The producer signaled for a commercial break, but Piers waved it off, choosing to escalate. "You both chose the spotlight again and again. Don't cry about getting burned," he said. Harry stood up abruptly, removing his microphone. "This isn't a conversation," he said. "This is a staged attack, and I won't be part of it." Gasps filled the studio. Without another word, he began to walk off the set. Piers, always eager to control the narrative, turned to the camera as Harry exited. "Well, there you have it," he said smugly. When challenged, the prince walks away. That's the real story. His words echoed across the stunned studio. Backstage, staff scrambled to assess the situation while Harry refused to return, clearly outraged by how the interview had been conducted. Security escorted him out the back door to avoid media chaos. Meanwhile, on social media, clips of the confrontation were already going viral. Hashtags like Harry v. Piers and hashtag Royal Showdown exploded. Fans and critics quickly picked sides, some praising Harry for standing up for Meghan, others applauding Piers for asking the tough questions. News outlets pounced on the drama, replaying the footage on a loop. Media pundits debated whether Piers had crossed a line or whether Harry was simply unwilling to be challenged. The clash had become more than a media event. It was now a global flashpoint in the ongoing cultural debate around press freedom, royal accountability, and celebrity privacy. Within hours, representatives from Prince Harry's team released a statement condemning the interview. Prince Harry agreed to appear in good faith for a respectful discussion, it read. Unfortunately, the host opted for provocation over journalism. The statement emphasized Harry's commitment to civil discourse and called out what they labeled calculated disrespect from Piers. Meanwhile, Piers doubled down on his morning show the next day, using the platform to mock Harry's walkout. "Real leaders don't run," he said. "They face tough questions." He even replayed the moment Harry removed his mic several times, exaggerating the drama. The spectacle drew massive ratings, and media analysts noted it as one of the highest viewed segments in the show's history. But behind the scenes, network executives weren't entirely pleased. Multiple sponsors reportedly expressed discomfort with the tone of the interview. There were internal discussions about whether Piers had gone too far, especially given the sensitive nature of the topics he provoked. It was clear the fallout wasn't just public, it was professional. The wider reaction from public figures was swift. Celebrities, mental health advocates, and even some journalists criticized Piers for what they called an aggressive ambush. Several well-known personalities voiced support for Harry, praising him for defending his wife and refusing to tolerate media disrespect. He stood his ground. One popular actress tweeted, "Piers was out of line." On the other hand, conservative commentators praised Piers for holding a pampered royal accountable. The incident became another battleground in the polarized media landscape. Meanwhile, Prince William's camp remained silent, refusing to comment publicly on the clash. Speculation grew around how the royal family viewed Harry's latest appearance. Had he helped his cause or hurt it? As for Harry, he remained out of the spotlight in the days that followed, appearing only briefly at a charity event where he declined to take questions. The contrast between that quiet dignity and the chaos of the interview only intensified the public fascination. The narrative was no longer just about the interview, it was about what it revealed. More details trickled out from behind the scenes. According to a crew member, Harry had explicitly asked before the interview that Meghan's name not be dragged into personal attacks. The agreement was informal, but acknowledged by producers. However, Piers apparently disregarded that boundary. Claiming journalistic freedom, the move was interpreted by some as a deliberate provocation designed to create a viral moment. And it worked. But it also raised ethical questions. Shock journalism justifiable if it delivers ratings? Or does it undermine the integrity of public discourse? That debate played out across op-eds, news panels, and late-night comedy shows. Some comedians roasted both men, Harry for storming out, Piers for baiting a guest. Others took the opportunity to revisit Piers Morgan's long-standing feud with Meghan, a feud that has often drawn criticism for its obsessive and personal tone. The clash, though sensational, had peeled back layers of resentment, ego, and media manipulation. And it left the public wondering whether such interviews did more harm than good. Interestingly, the clash had ripple effects beyond the TV studio. Mental health advocates seized on the moment to highlight the toll media pressure takes on public figures. Several charities cited the segment in discussions about press regulation and responsible journalism. Harry's foundation released a follow-up message, reaffirming its mission to change the culture of media through compassion and accountability. Meanwhile, inside Buckingham Palace, sources leaked that the royal family was disappointed but not surprised by the segment's outcome. Though they distanced themselves from Harry's media choices, they reportedly viewed Piers' conduct as lacking decorum. The irony wasn't lost on many peers. Once a staunch monarchist, had now angered both wings of the royal world. The network that aired the interview faced mounting pressure, not only from sponsors, but from advocacy groups. Petitions surfaced demanding more responsible programming and less sensationalism. The show's producers were forced to walk a tightrope defending journalistic independence while addressing public backlash. The clash had become a symbol whether they liked it or not. Prince Harry, eventually returning to public life, addressed the situation subtly during a speech at a youth event. "Sometimes walking away is the strongest thing you can do," he said without naming names. The audience erupted in applause, reading between the lines. Meghan remained silent, choosing not to engage directly, though her friends hinted on social media that she supported Harry's actions completely. Piers, on the other hand, continued using the moment for attention, tweeting memes and jabs for days. The spectacle may have boosted his ratings, but it also drew fresh scrutiny on his methods. A media watchdog group opened an investigation into the show's compliance with broadcast standards. Though unlikely to result in fines, it was a warning shot across the bow. Meanwhile, Harry focused on his philanthropic projects, letting the dust settle on his own terms. Analysts noted that while he lost his temper, he gained a wave of sympathy. In the war of public opinion, sometimes a walk-off says more than 1,000 words. In the end, the clash between Prince Harry and Piers Morgan became more than just a TV meltdown. It crystallized an